Yeah, good to be with you. Thanks.
I'm going to give it an extra minute or two before we get started on the safety moment. Just let people dial in. I know we had quite a few people that were talking about coming in remote, and then a few people who weren't able to make the meeting today. So let's just make sure we get the quorum and the quorum. Yeah.
Well, that's true.
We're just going to give it a second, Nathaniel, and see if we can get a quorum going. Joe, Ava, thank you for joining us.
It is a forum. Five.
I'll go on mute here for a minute.
Yes.
Hey, try that again, Aves.
Hi, Lance Wilbur.
That's Aves Thompson.
That's a blast from the past.
Lance, I don't know if you can hear us.
I can, Terry. Thank you.
Yeah, Aves and Stephanie were both saying hello to you. I believe the term they used was blast from the past.
Yeah.
Hello, Aves.
Hey, Lance, long time.
It has been.
Lance, we're just waiting, hopefully to get a quorum here. We need two more commissioners to join. So we're ever hopeful. We're just kind of hanging out and give it a couple more minutes. We'll wait until about 12:05. Give it some
Okay.
time.
Thank you, Terry.
One more minute.
Okay, we're gonna go off mute. We're gonna give it one more minute to 12:05. According to Aves, if we can't develop a quorum, we can still do some of at least the updates, et cetera, just not any of the work.
And if we get the quorum, we can conduct our business.
Okay, sounds good. So we're just gonna hang out till about 12:05. Sorry, that's skip over just.
Looking, I'm getting a phone call, but it's not from a number I know.
All right. Call this meeting to order. The first order of business is roll call.
Person who takes roll call.
It's gonna record. It should be recorded already. Turn the recording, start the meeting.
Yeah, but we need to do the roll
Okay.
call.
All right, Commissioner Lashecki. Commissioner Robbins. Commissioner Rotan. Commissioner Betts.
He's here.
uh, uh, Vice Chair Thompson, Commissioner Ward, no, and Commissioner Kessler.
Yep. Here.
Okay, so that we, I note the absence of a quorum, so we'll continue with those items that can be dealt with without a quorum. If the quorum comes in during our meeting, we will be able to conduct our business at that time. So will you stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shane, a port safety minute.
Right, safety minute for today is wildlife encounter on Port of Alaska. Perimeters, summer brings increased wildlife activity to the Port of Alaska. Moose, red cuffs, bears frequently wandered over near port, perimeter railroad yards and wooded access gates. Summer means wildlife is active around port perimeter. If you spot a moose or a bear near the tracks or yard, do not approach it. Do not try to scare it. Never get between a cow, moose, and a calf. Report any sighting immediately to the Port of Alaska Security so we can alert all the port users on site. In Security Center, office phone number is 907-343-6034. Thank you.
Gabe's, just as a comment, we've had, because we share the wildlife, Government Hill, we currently have 5 bears. We have a sow with 2 cubs, which I'm sure you guys have seen. And,
Yesterday.
huh?
I filmed her yesterday over at Post Road.
Yeah, and we have 2 young, probably males who are, they've been in our garage twice. We can't leave our garage door open at all. And we now even lock our front door because it has a handle on it. And the bears just stand up and they could open the door and get in the house, and that would be that. So just saying that, and there's a cow and a calf also, but not nearly as active as the bears. So I'm sure you've seen the bears a lot, so. Yeah, no, it's,
Carry your bear spray.
well, I'm not so worried about the adolescents. They're still pretty small, and there's just a very funny video of me backing my car out of the garage when I did not know the bear was in the garage. And the bear just went blah and ran out, and I didn't know the bear was there until I looked in my rearview mirror, and it was filled up by bear, and I went, whoa. So, yeah.
Alaska.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was. Those poor bears, those youngsters may not make it through the summer.
I live off the west end of the park strip. We get moose, like we don't have any bears. So,
That you know about.
well, that I know about or have seen.
Right. No, the really reason I say is because Fish and Game, they have this wonderful bear tracking thing that you can look at online. And there's a super highway that goes through here, up J Bear, the trails through our neighborhood, down along, Ship Creek, then over and right through you, right by you guys, all the way out to Kincaid. And they just ghost the whole thing. You hardly ever see them unless they've moved into your neighborhood, like our 5 bears. They have moved in.
I live up on a little bit of a rise,
Yeah.
and the moose come up the hill, and it's just opening beach. between the two fences, and he goes in, Mama Moose goes into my neighbor's yard.
Yes,
And I was able to video the birth of a calf.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just looking out my kitchen window.
going, okay,
There it is. It's
yeah,
pretty awesome.
It's hard to get away from the circle of life in Alaska.
yeah.
Right? We're just surrounded by it. It's amazing.
All right, let's get back to approval of the agenda.
I don't think we can do that.
Can't do that. We can't.
We don't have a quorum, Cheryl.
How about,
So that's weird. Simon and Ron both said they were gonna call in.
Yeah, for
yesterday.
whatever reason, it just didn't happen. So
I could see why Ron wouldn't make it,
Right.
because he might be out somewhere, but Simon, that's unusual for him.
Yeah, it is unusual.
Yeah.
So maybe
how about port director comments?
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready for a few things. We obviously had a fairly incredible 8 days over the last week or so. Last week was the Golden Pile event here at the Port of Alaska, where we had quite a few dignitaries, the senators, most of the assembly members showed up. We had commissioners show up. We had a really good turnout, over 150 people total. The event went really, really well, and that was to kick off the Terminal 1 construction event and to celebrate some of the federal money that we got for T1, and also to tee up the next round, which was this week for the Marriott administration and the Attorney General visit. So all of that was sort of put into play so that we could get the right people in the right rooms a week ago to finalize the settlement for Marriott. And of course, we had an event yesterday. Again, I'll apologize to the commissioners. You guys didn't get a heads up, but the night before the Attorney General was to arrive, it was going to be a closed session. But then after that evening, things changed. The settlement was formalized and they wanted to do a formal announcement that next morning at 0800. So I don't think there was a lot of time. It took 8 p.m. 0800 to get that announcement out and actually get the commissioners here. But definitely I did not send out an email that evening. And so I'll make my apologies to this group. You were right to call me out.
Thank you.
The other thing that I would add is, even this morning, an email would have been nice going out to all the commissioners, pointing out the article in the paper, et cetera, because like Aves didn't know about it until he walked in the building.
Okay,
And so,
I can work on that.
yeah, for something of this magnitude, it would be great, because I actually checked my inbox today going, okay, there should be something there.
Okay, I'll take that.
And the other thing that I would add is that, at the groundbreaking, would be really nice to also recognize the Port Commission. I would have expected the municipality to have done that, but if they didn't, if you guys could help them along to recognize that, because I'm not sure what they think, you know.
Well, and that's the message that was delivered, is that we're not sure what the administration thinks about the Port Commission.
Okay.
And I felt personally offended that we were not recognized. But I've sat on this commission for quite a number of years as a volunteer. I don't get paid, I get lunch. But I think all of the commissioners have made a contribution. We've all been part of this battle with Marriott, and, you know, we've individually done some lobbying, and it would be nice. A little recognition once in a while, maybe.
Yeah.
Here you are. These are the people that also helped.
Yeah, for sure. Again, great constructive criticism. Thank you. I appreciate the professionalism that you're sending it my way. It's definitely directed at me, no question. I'll work on that.
Yeah, and again, I think I would just go back and say, yes, to acknowledge all of our work, which I think is very important. But I also think to acknowledge that we actually serve a very important function, and to make sure that people know, I hate to even have to say this, that people know that we exist and are doing critical work. I mean, you know, we're not some rubber stamp
Right.
organization. So I think that's also very important.
Yeah, I agree. I think part part of the issue with this is just my lack of understanding of the commission. I'm still learning about what the importance of the commissioners and what you guys have done. I certainly don't have the history or carry that history with me either, so it wasn't it wasn't in the forefront of my thought process of recognition. So I'll take all that. I'll own all that.
Okay, cool.
And I'll work on helping you guys get better recognition and getting
Right.
the public to understand what it is.
Well,
that
right,
you
and
accomplished in here.
Yeah, and it's not even us guys, it's the commission,
Sure.
I think. Yeah, the institution itself.
That's what I meant by guys.
Yeah.
The commissioners.
Recognition from the administration.
Sure.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah. Any
This
other
is
comment?
Nathaniel Bet. Yeah, this is Nathaniel Betts calling online. Notwithstanding the comments that have already been made, I just want to say congratulations. I mean, this is huge news, and I don't want to lose sight of that. This is an incredible step change in the ability to conduct this modernization. So congratulations to the port team and the whole municipality.
Thanks, Nathaniel. Appreciate that.
And thank you, Daniel. I think we echo your comments.
Yes.
To that end, I did invite Joe Busa, and it looks like Ava Gardner's in the office with him. Lance Wilbur is here, I think, in sort of a supporting role for today as well. We expected some questions about the Marriott settlement. Go ahead.
Could you kind of outline the agreement and?
Even better, I've got the legal team on here to do that. So
All right.
Joe Busa is the one who was in the room helping negotiate all this. Ava was there as well. I happened to get exposed to it. So Joe is here to sort of help everybody understand why we made a settlement, why we entered into the settlement phase, and then sort of what this does for us going forward. So if you guys will indulge me, I'll go ahead.
Absolutely. The floor is yours.
Joseph and Ava, welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eva Gardner, the municipal attorney, and this is Joe. He's our deputy municipal attorney and our solicitor general overseeing all litigation, who has been point on the Marriott litigation from inside our office. So I'll hand it over to him to kind of walk through what just happened.
Well, so the commission, obviously you need no introduction to this litigation. You've been in the middle of it since 2014, but just to set the stage, in 2014, we sued the federal government using our outside counsel, longtime outside counsel over at Seyfarth. And that litigation's been ongoing for 12 years. We did get a judgment for $367 million several years ago that was overturned on appeal in 2024. So until 2 days ago, we were sitting at $11 million as the total recovery on this case, facing, thousands and thousands of additional lawyer hours going forward with no certainty of recovery. And as of yesterday, when the deal was actually signed, it wasn't signed until 8 a.m. yesterday, so that might explain some of the urgency of the press conference coming together so rapidly. Yesterday, we got $180 million new dollars of guaranteed cash income coming in, if I had to guess, the next few months. It's just a matter of getting the judgment fund paperwork signed and Treasury to process it. That's unencumbered money immediately available to the port. Just to put that in context, this is the biggest legal recovery in the municipality's history by a mile. It's the most money we've ever won in a lawsuit, and it's not even close to what we think the number two would be. And just to outline some of the highlights of the deal, this is $180 million. It also preserves the $11 million that was already affirmed on appeal. So all in, you're looking at $191.3 million. As we all know, cash today is much more valuable than the possibility of cash tomorrow. Even the same amount of cash guaranteed tomorrow is worth less than cash today, right? Because of interest and uncertainty. Then you got to factor in uncertainty in litigation. And just on in terms of the value of cash today versus tomorrow, as far as we can tell, cash coming in today offsets about $2.50 in downstream costs to port users and consumers compared to having to finance the cost of the PAMP. So the actual value of the recovery today is many multiples times the $191 million we'll be getting in cash. And then you have to look at litigation risk. This settlement gives us certainty. We get the $180 million no matter what. 2 days ago, we were getting $11 million with no guarantee of recovery. There are a lot of different legal claims at issue in the case. We went through all of them with a fine-tooth comb with our trusted outside counsel, all of the attorneys in-house, and all the senior leadership of the municipality, and we made a risk-based assessment. And this settlement is well above the total risk-adjusted net present expected value of continuing to litigate. We feel this is a major victory for the municipality and for all Alaskans. We're very excited to have brought this home yesterday. And I think it really was a confluence of events that made it possible. In the normal course of events, I think DOJ would just litigate forever and we would litigate forever. We would expend millions more dollars in doing so. But there just happened to be a great moment that we could strike and get this deal done that is extremely positive for Anchorage. And we couldn't be happier.
And
Thank you,
to put a
Joe.
little more history into the settlement, we had been in negotiations with DOJ for several months. And then they really just ramped up in the last few days, just again, like Joe said,
Really
influence of events and people on the state side and the federal side, just really pushing to help get this done, which got the number up to a level where we were like, this is a win. Grab it while it's here, and move on.
Congratulations to the negotiators. I think you protected our interests well. And as you say, as has been said, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So the present value of that 180 million in the bank is very, very important. So thank you.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, I'm gonna start using the 191 number, not the 180, because that 11 million came with that 180. So I'm using the 191 just for the commissioners. You can use 191 as well.
Right, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, the settlement itself is 180, but as Joe said, we the only amount that we still had a judgment for from the first round of litigation in this case was 11. So we have an $11 million judgment on top of a 180 settlement for a total of 191.3 million recovery in this lawsuit.
Oh, great.
Well, the 191 is more accurate, so good. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank
Eva,
you.
Joseph, thank you for joining our call. Appreciate your time.
All right. We'll hop off. Thanks, y'all.
Just to kind of continue on my update, we did have a noise complaint from the Government Hill Community Council. We are actively addressing that. Mr. Gerlach.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve Gerlach reached out to us with some cement ABI issues. We were working through that with Brian and Ronnie's team. He's asking for quite a bit of information. We'll supply him with whatever we have, of course, but just want you to be aware of that. And then the PAMP project for Terminal 1 construction is underway. Everything's going pretty well. John and Bill will talk about that. But we are dealing with quite a bit of beluga activity this year.
Right.
Cook Inlet. So just want to give everybody a heads up. We have about I think it's a dozen takes so far. And a take is when you have a whale in the vicinity of the work being done. So we're kind of getting up there. We get about 118, I think, per year for a take. We've used a little over a dozen, I think, so far this year. So the activity in the Cook Inlet with the belugas is a little higher than we expected, but it's not, we're not delayed because of it, but it's just something I wanted the commissioners to know about.
Take is such an
I
unfortunate
hate the
word.
word.
It's
Yeah.
a really bad word.
It's an industry standard. And
That's
I'd
a
love
bad
it
word.
to be different, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll try to change that. It's an
Yeah.
engineering term too. And other than that, I'm still actively working on community engagement and involvement. Speaking with Rotaries in the upcoming weeks and doing the International Rotary, I think we decided on November. So community council engagement and Rotary engagement right now for public outreach, along with the weekly meetings for the PAMP. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to attend those, but those weekly updates are actually pretty substantial and they're worthwhile to call into, even if it's just once a month. But that's a really great way for us to get the information, the changes in information that are coming at us. Pretty heavy changes every week with what we got going on.
Excuse me. Is there a schedule of those meetings, contact point,
For the PAMP updates,
PAM meeting?
I'll send it out to the whole commission. Yes, every single week, same time. There's a
Calendar
Teams link.
invite.
Yeah, the Teams link, you can call in remote and listen to it. Everybody's muted. It is a one-way,
Where they meet?
it's just on Teams.
Oh, just,
No
okay,
physical meeting.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and there's hundreds of people.
Forwarded on the port website.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that link is actually on the website already, but I'll make sure it gets out to the commission. And that's it for me.
Abe's man, follow up with you.
Yes, please.
Could you tell me what the complaint was about ABI, the noise complaint? That Steve made? Are they working late at night or what is?
Just the persistent, ongoing noise involved that is supposed to have come from their pumping operations,
The cement
pumping.
operations.
I haven't noticed it.
Yeah, and it's starting to bleed into the PAMP. So the
Okay,
questions are starting,
I was-
getting leading questions that are going into the construction
Right.
project now, so.
I live over the railroad and so noise that ABI might be generating is gonna be drowned out by the railroad. And Steve is down a block from me and more inland, so he might be catching that. Okay.
Is the noise from the pumping, is that during the normal operation or is that the unloading of the ship?
Full cement unloading
Normal
operations, yeah.
And what time of day does it happen?
In absent the ship, right?
This is ABI equipment.
Right, okay.
That facilitates the pumping of the cement operation. It's got a loud whine to it, I guess, is what the complaint is. I didn't hear it. I drove out there. I didn't catch it, but I'm not a hearing specialist, so. John maybe talk about it. I just introduced John to the issue today. Got some emails going back and forth.
So there are, yes, the engineer, so I have to give him an engineering reply. And there are companies and standards that monitor noise, industrial noise, different decibel levels, different frequencies. And so we're just looking into that. We found 3 different companies here in Anchorage that could do that. And they could put a microphone out there, record it and tell you what exactly the noise is and whether it meets different thresholds or whatever. You know, people do it with airplane noise. And so it's not an uncommon issue. And there are people that can help us deal with that. We haven't retained anybody. We're just discussing what we might do.
And I guess the reason I bring it up is I want everybody to be aware, we take the concern very seriously.
No, I
It is a
appreciate that.
valid concern, so
Right.
I wanted to bring it up with the Port Commission because I think you guys need to know about any kind of complaints that we have, but also that we're addressing it. We're not just gonna go, oh, this is just one complaint or a big deal, right?
Yeah.
No, we want to make sure that everybody in every community that we're impacting, because we know we are impacting the communities in Anchorage, that we're addressing those concerns, so. And that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Staff report, Ronnie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, I'd like to thank all the staff here, as I always do here in the room. We couldn't do none of this without everybody, the team effort. I want to especially thank Shane for his safety education to our employees and also his efforts in keeping the port safe. I want to thank Brian, our new FSO, as far as keeping security focused and keeping everybody, again, secure on the port so that we can do our daily work. And so with that, we've been continuing, through lawsuits, through press conferences, through tours. We had a cruise ship, the 25th and 26th, and I was on vacation, so I was glad that Brian stepped in. It was his first one by himself, and he did well. And so no incident, so I guess he don't need me anymore. So with that, we got the next cruise ship coming.
Give you another day off.
Yeah, that's what I was
No,
thinking,
sir.
another week.
No, sir.
And so the next cruise ship that we'll have coming in is going to be the World. And everybody always likes to see that. So I know Stephanie probably can see it from her house, but it'll be here August 5th, 6th, and 7th. So 3 days.
Wow.
Uh,
Is that the one where people live on it?
yes, ma'am. And live on it. And maybe they invite me and you and we'll go on there and
Yeah, they just live
Play
on
golf or
it and
something.
they just go everywhere.
pay $400-something thousand a year for maintenance.
It's about the cost of your remodel.
Oh, well, no.
Right, then we
Building
talked
at my
about that.
mom's house, oh, that's just a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
We should have just put mom on that cruise ship. Yeah.
So we again, MMJV and also our port team, keeping the port clean. You see all the sweeping and keeping the dust down, et cetera. Guys cutting grass, doing what they do in spring and early summer. We got 2 new port maintenance hires. One started Monday and another one she'll start on next Monday. So again, all the training and everything, orientation occur during those times. The incident that we had on December 25th with the with the POL2 hose being pulled away from the dock by the tug and barge Well, so thanks to the engineers and everybody's efforts, line 3 was operational now in the last few days. Aviadon, Oliver Levitt did their few operations with no incident. So that's pretty much all I have as far as operations, management, security, and safety.
Questions for Ryan? Bill? Engineering.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Some updates on projects, storm drain construction systems 1 and 2, that's with Matt and Toad, that's underway, it's going very well. Have positive feedback from the tenants that the contractors are working well with the tenants. Railroad coordination, we're working right now on the railroad, you'll see it's torn up, and we're working with Alaska Railroad to make sure it's returned to standards that they're happy with. System 5 is the next system, which will be in the Matson area primarily. And that is under a recent change order that was approved by the assembly. So that'll be kicking off this fall, hopefully is the schedule.
No, it will be.
It will be. So, and I just got back from a meeting with PM&E. We're looking at the future storm drain improvements and we're scoping those as we speak. PL2, as Ronnie mentioned, berthing line 3 is restored to service. Right now, the fuel we use to do that flush is stored in a tank, and the plan is to sell that back to Inlet Energy, so we'll cover some of those costs. Port maintenance complex, our cruise is not quite as good, it's delayed. The odds of delivering that this year is not good. It looks like a 2027 delivery.
Is this the storm building?
It is. PCT crane, one of the operational concerns from last year was below 0 degrees. Oh, yes, a question.
Let me interrupt for just a moment. How big a project is that?
27,000 square feet.
Big.
It's a very good size.
Huge structure.
Is it a one season construction?
We believe so. With the qualification that season 1 is building it, season 2 may be filling it up in the interior and building it for operations
And
personnel.
its primary purpose will be?
Sand storage and operations.
It's gonna take the place of our storage facility over here. A lot of the heavy equipment and stuff that we have, it's gonna go inside that.
Park equipment in it
Yes,
as
sir.
well. Good.
There's some sand and equipment.
All right, thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
Bill Carlson, PCT crane, good news. One of the concerns from last winter's operation was below 0. Crane did not operate well. It was unreliable, it was jerky. We have a project to install insulation, which is going to raise the temperature of -2 degrees as it was last winter to 90 degrees with hydraulic fluid. So we've solved that for $4,600. And lastly, had good talks with the railroad last week, and we're looking at options to reduce railroad delays for crossings. And I think that's very positive. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, subject to your questions.
Questions for Bill? Thank you. John, Adam.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have this summary sheet in your packet, and I think it's individually in front of you. So NES1, the North Extension Stabilization, is mostly done now. There was some remaining funds that we're allowed to use for a road and helipad. That RFP for design build is on the street now being advertised. They'll probably make a selection in the next few weeks. It's looking now like the construction will happen next spring. We're having a hard time getting some of these projects through our process, the municipal process with purchasing and the amount of time and all that. It's very difficult to make these things happen quickly. We had hoped to do it this year, but it's looking like the design will happen this fall and winter and the construction in the spring. So that'll use the remaining MARAD funds or some of them. And then there's a right-of-way access issue that's related to the road. That was the the old Kabata right-of-way. And we're in the process of moving that right-of-way to make it more friendly with our plans and kind of get it out of our way, if you will. They've had some public notices and presentations, and there's a hearing in September. So that's another kind of lengthy process. We don't think it's going to be controversial. We think they'll move it for us to go forward. Terminal 1 is, you can look out the window. That's probably our big focus by far. There's an awful lot going on out there. You can see they're demolishing POL 1 and T1 the old Terminal 1 and the old Petroleum Terminal number 1. The piping is gone from POL 1. It's no longer in operation. They're pulling piles and removing sections of concrete from both of those areas. They're also doing abutment preparation and deep soil mixing where the 2 new abutments are coming, the trestles that access T1. So if you look at that blue crane there, that's one trestle area. And then at the other end, you'll see the towers for the deep soil mixing, the big augers. And there's a big one for jet grouting that are sitting over there on a pad. So they're preparing the ground for those trestles there with deep soil mixing. What you can't see from our building, but if you want to go look at it, you're welcome to. We'll take you out there. Is the north end is a receiving area for all the precast and prefabricated materials. There's a large yard out there. It's full of piling and precast concrete now. They've been shipping up from the Seattle area. They have straddle carriers. They have a great big plane. You can kind of see the crane in the distance there. That's used to unload their barge. So they've turned it into a great big staging yard up there. There's a lot of material. It takes well over 2 years to fabricate and ship everything that we need for the dock up here. So right now they're, in addition to receiving materials and doing demolition, they're getting ready to drive piling. They've driven a number of temporary piles. They're getting ready to set their template, which is the frame that guides the permanent piles in place. They'll be setting that template over the next 2 weeks. They have a plan to drive the first permanent pile on Friday, the 17th of July. Terry mentioned they're having some issues with, we've seen a lot of belugas. They're not actually behind on schedule, but they're certainly not ahead. They're kind of pushing the envelope of the schedule, if you will. And people are a little concerned about what they're going to be facing as they start trying to drive production piles and run into belugas and reduce daylight and the tail end of the season. So we'll see how they do on production piles. We've asked for some kind of enhanced reporting. So probably by the next time we meet with this group, we'll be able to tell you how many piles a week they get, how many beluga takes, what their production rates are, and we'll be able to monitor how they're progressing with that pile.
These.
Yes.
So I have a really dumb question. And I know it's dumb, but I just want to hear, you could only dry pile in the summer, right? You can't do it in the winter.
For the beluga permits, you have to be able to see the beluga whale. So there's a daylight restriction of when you can see.
And then in the winter, there's ice.
There's ice, and so it's both a visual thing for the belugas,
Okay.
and they don't want to drive when the ice is interfering with their barge and their.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering it more from not from the beluga standpoint, but because I was thinking, well, the winter, the belugas aren't here, although who knows, maybe they are. I don't, right. But I was thinking, well, could you know, I'm sure there's a million reasons why you can't drive in the winter, but I just thought.
Part of it is, it's the conspiracy of the daylight, the ice forces, you can't see the belugas, everything starts conspiring against them, and it's just not worth their while.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty unsafe, I think, at that point.
Well, right, I agree. I just,
May through October. is
yeah,
basically-
I agree, but then I was the person, it's not been until in the last 10 years that you could actually do a foundation in a house
Right.
in the winter. So I thought, well,
We do have some winter work going on this week.
Okay.
But not out in Cookingland.
okay, that,
And that's not a dumb question.
well, I just thought, I mean, it's obvious. Of course, you wouldn't do it out in the winter, but
What I would say is the ideal scenario is that they're here in the spring,
yes.
right after the ice goes out, and they're driving right away, which is our concern on this year is they didn't achieve that. They're waiting till the end of July before they get going. So next year, we're hoping they're here as soon as that ice lets them
Yeah.
in and they're early and working, so.
Wonderful progress.
So substation, that's ongoing. We just received the 65% design from the design build team. Looks like a very good package. There's very few comments on it.
Which one said?
That's the substation, the electrical substation, which is the power for the new cranes. And that's a separate project for us. It's a design build project. It's underway. There seems to be a pretty good team there. This year, yet this fall, they're going to start installing the duct bank, which is the underground conduits for the big power cables. They're also going to take delivery of the battery energy storage system, which is combined with the substation. And they have long lead time items already on order for that project. So that one seems to be going along. T2 is our other one, or the Terminal 2 design is underway for 35%. It's going reasonably well. They have two kind of special studies that are associated with that. In addition to designing the dock, they're going to look at the alternative fuel scenarios that might be needed for when we replace POL2. How are we going to do that? We need to have 2 POL facilities at all times or nearly all times. We have PCT and POL2 now. So when we replace POL2, what do we do? Where does the second facility come in? So they're looking at that. There's been some studies. They do have one idea where they may be able to do an accelerated construction of POL2 where they replace it in place with minimal downtime. And they're exploring that option. And then they're also looking at some seismic studies to see if they can optimize Terminal 2 for pile size and cost. You know, Terminal 1's an extraordinarily expensive dock, and they're seeing if reducing the seismic level back to just normally high condition from whatever we created here helps them at all, and if there's a way to get efficiency out of that. So that's Terminal 2, that's ongoing work. And then there's a whole number of other things. Bill mentioned some of them. We're going to replace some of the main dock fenders for the remaining section of the terminal. There's a couple of those that are damaged. We have, and there's a contract that's been awarded to Smalling to do that. We also have a contract to Smalling to replace the north floating dock. We have the new dock is here. They're going to drive some piles for that. Those piles are going to be double use because they're going to be used for the NOAA tide station. And that contract's been awarded to Smalling, so they'll be doing that this year. POL2 fender replacement, that's been ongoing. We met with Smalling this week. They're going to try to do that this year, finish that project. That's to repair some of the fenders on the remaining POL2. We're going to have an annual dock inspection of the whole facility, so we'll see what condition the remaining parts of the terminal are, if any are in danger of falling in or anything like that.
Is that an in-house inspection or is that
No,
third party?
We hired that out, third party. It's going to include diving and topside inspection, and they're using a standard inspection standard, if you will. So when they report the results, they're in line with the condition assessments that other people use. So just a few more items here for you. POL dock pilot and pile cap repair is we have final plans for that. We're putting together an invitation to bid. That's 2 projects for POL2. One is to put pile jackets on. The other is to repair the pile cap that was damaged and spalled concrete. So those are getting ready to go out to bid. Let's see, actually there's a typo here about north floating dock that's already done with. Oh, and then the PCT, we have a number of projects on the PCT. Bill mentioned a few of them. We're trying to help some of the users have requested various operational guidelines. How do we do this? How do we do that? Do you have a procedure for X, Y, and Z? How are the valves lined up? How do we strip the lines, et cetera? So we have one project underway now to help identify how to strip the lines. We went out and had that consultant and some of our team members here went out and watched an operation and saw how it went. And we'll be getting with the users to describe a written procedure for that. And then Cheryl has been working with me and putting together a broader POL operation guideline document. We're going to go out for RFP on that, and that's going to include everything down to the tariff level, environmental things.
That'd be good.
And it'll help answer some of these questions. There's some You probably heard some of the questions about PCT. How do we, why doesn't it work? We don't like this, we don't like that. We're gonna try to deal with some of that. Gary's asked us to work hard to get everybody happy with those and give them what they want, I guess is the simple answer.
Well, and not just give what they want, just to be a little, we are watching what we do here with money and grant money and et cetera, but the PCT has some glaring issues. Bill brought up the crane not being operable or really able to run well in cold weather. That's a real problem for Alaska. So we're addressing all of these issues that the users are bringing up, and we're not just throwing money at it. We're sitting in committees and we're talking about how we can address these issues. What's the right way forward for the port, for the users to ensure that we've got operational capabilities for every user group that comes to the port every single week. And we get these fixes done while we're still able to operate. So there's a lot of conversations that are going on in the background for every single one of these concerns that are being brought up. But I think it is important that everybody is aware that this port is trying to ensure that the people who use it want to come here and enjoy using it and feel confident and comfortable using the PCT, POL2, and our cargo docks. So that's really where we're coming from, is we're trying to instill some confidence in this new facility that we built. And so whatever we can do to accommodate that, we're really pulling on the carpet.
Well, so Terry, I think that's an important approach. You know, that you're not giving things away to make it work and make it work for everybody.
We're truly in all things, Mr. Chairman, we're just trying to build consensus in how we go about this. We're not trying to dictate operational solutions to the people who have to use these facilities. We're asking them for their input and trying to come up with a good consensus.
I think you get a better output.
We're hoping.
Yeah,
We're hoping. So far, so good. That's the path that I like to work through, so.
Yeah.
So that was the end of my report.
Thank you, Josh. It's a good report.
John, thank you.
Sure.
Good afternoon. I hope everyone had a chance to take a look at our financial statement. We have relatively stable news to report. Everything seems to be going along just as we predicted with our budget. The tariff surcharge is moving right along for this year to support our debt service as well. So we had made our first principal payment and interest payment in June. So that'll be that this in your debt service expense line item is that's $8 million. That includes about $7 million of long-term debt service that we paid. And the rest of it is for your short-term borrowing plan that we have fully executed that as well. That's currently the short-term borrowing program used to be 40 million. Public finance has increased that line for us to 100 million. So the interest payments monthly are a little bit, they've actually doubled. Normally it was about 119 a month for interest, and now the one we just paid was 250. So a little bit more than double, but yeah, it's a necessary funding mechanism to be able to fund our expenses and wait for our reimbursements from the agencies for grant funds. So any questions on the revenues? Does anyone have anything particular they?
I just have a silly question.
Yeah.
How come we don't budget cruise ship head tax?
So the cruise ship head tax is something we don't know what we're going to get because it's a formula at the state level. That's a portion of everybody that has cruise ships for the year.
Okay.
So, and if
not
you
just
remember
our
something
tax.
like, right, no, it's not, it's a state tax. So
Okay.
back in the day, I say that, it used to be about 75,000. And then COVID happened
Right.
and it was zero. So now this is just ramping up and it's from the previous year.
Okay.
So my hope and anticipation would be is that we would get close to 70,
Okay.
between 65 and 70.
Okay.
So,
And that
yeah.
last issue that got brought up, the $1 million issue for that, did that get sorted out?
That, I don't know. That was an additional appropriation in the head tax program. So that would be with the budget. If the budget at the state level got
Still not
passed.
sure where that number.
No,
came. Okay,
no,
sorry, bring that.
so, yeah. So everything else, the public finance folks are the ones who post the revenues for your gains and losses and earnings. You'll see down on the investments and the short-term investments on the cash pool. That's the, all of those earnings are calculated and booked to the ports fund by the public finance team. So they're, haven't done that yet this year, but we anticipate, they should be catching up soon. Expenses are pretty straightforward. We have in our non-labor, there's a little bit of a lag just due to invoicing and payments coming in, but we do anticipate that we're slightly below what our budget has, which is always where we like to live on expenses. The legal services, that's actuals to date, the 173,000. So as Joe mentioned, there'll be expenses that we'll have to incur for the closeout paperwork or the settlement. So what those are to date, we don't know. So we may have to make a change to the budget and provide some additional funding to get that lawsuit closed out.
Spend money to make money.
Yeah. To get money, right? Visa and the dividends are paid in July and October. And that about does it for your revenues and expenses.
Sure, what's MISA?
Municipal enterprise service
Oh,
assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like basically payment in lieu of property tax. Yeah.
Cheryl, will the 193 million have any impact on the search?
So that's TBD. Everybody is talking about that. There's just really they're not sure. So I'll just jump into my next comments. So at the end of this month, the port and the municipality is scheduled to sell $400 million of revenue bonds. So we're already down that road. We have the preliminary offering statement that's gone out to lenders. We've had meetings with the banks. So the timing of the award was not enough to make the municipality change their mind on the issuance of the revenue bonds. So given the fact that we don't know when that 191 million will come in, we still have bills to pay. Right, so the contractors are about $30 million a month, just for frame of reference. So as, you know, in the wintertime, it might be less than that, but so like as their bills continue to come in, Ross and the team at EMOA feel like we need to have access to those funds. So they're going to sell $400 million of bonds. And then as the paperwork and the finalization, and we actually do see green dollars from the federal government, that will likely be in next year. So they'll make a determination with next year's review of the tariff, what they're going to do.
Determine bond sales.
No, well, the bond sale's happening.
Right, but next year.
Subsequent bonds.
Subsequent.
Subsequent bonds.
That
That's-
right there is the key.
Yeah.
What you
yeah,
just
yeah.
hit on is the key, and that's the message that's probably gonna get, now the ball's still brand new, so we're
Right.
still working on messaging, how do we get this out, but that's the key. After January 2027, we can take a look at future borrowing.
Right.
And future costs associated with borrowing, but
Right.
right now, everything we've enacted for the $400 million revenue bond sale, all of that was already in motion, and that's still happening.
So,
And that's understandable.
right,
Yeah.
and so you'll see that likely will be in the newspaper.
Yeah.
I mean, when that bond sale happens, it will be, you know, it's a record bond sale for the municipality as well. So just like this was a record settlement, you know, we are gonna have the record bond sale. So it's a lot of firsts for this program. And, you know, things that are not $10, right? So it's they're big,
It's a lot of firsts.
yeah,
Remember, the pioneers were the ones with the arrows in their
Yeah.
ass.
right? Well, I will remember that, Ames, and I do certainly identify with that.
I add something, I'm a little out of order.
No, please go ahead.
Okay.
So they made a big point in their recent announcements, and I think the attorney mentioned it today, that if you finance money, you pay back $2.50 on every dollar that you borrow. So that's where the reduction in surcharge comes in, is we're not financing that 100 million. That's a piece of money that's not borrowed, so you're saving that money from the surcharge. It's money without a finance.
Unencumbered, by the way.
Right, but not today.
Not
The
today.
message is
But
not.
overall, in the program.
There's not a pile of it
No.
sitting on the table.
Correct.
No, it's not in the municipal cash pool for use to pay Manson.
Glad we had this.
Yeah, I do want, because I wanted to have the conversation with you guys because you will see it in the newspaper. There will be commentary. So it's important that you understand from what we know, we're telling you what we know as of today. And if you get anything that is a question or concern, just shoot us an email. And
Yeah, I would
we
I
can
would say
loop
reach
you.
out to me directly for anything surcharge related or reduction in surcharge related. We're really formulating talking points. I mean, it's all so fresh. You guys are the first people we talked to about it outside of the meeting. So we're working on it.
Right, and it was really, I mean, so my point for you all is that the bond sale is due to happen. We had a meeting right before this meeting. They'll probably likely remove it or move it down the calendar 5 days because the market will want to take a look at what the settlement means to us. So
Right. that
It's
makes
so-
sense.
to have a few more days to be able to amend the public offering statement with the news and let the lenders all digest that.
I think that would be viewed favorably.
And that being said, I will just give you your flowers right now. Cheryl Beckham and the finance team at the Muni got us a credit rating of A. So we are in good standing, I believe they said.
Oh, yeah,
What did they?
Yeah, so it was a matter of, it's a
Don't
A
downplay
stable.
it.
Well,
You
A
got us an
stable.
A rating for the
Right,
Port
but it
of
was
Alaska,
an-
not for the Muni. for the-
So it's, you deliver your interviews, they interview you on your finances and your structure and your policies and things like that. And, Kroll was one of the rating agencies that Ross went to. So, that we received that rating, yesterday. So it was an A stable, which
Check.
they were all very happy with. Of course, everybody would like AA. I don't think I think the port's assets can't support anything more than like a AA rating. So of course we would like that. So that's the goal for
Right.
next time. But, Ross was happy.
Big
and-
hand clap. That helps lower our
Yeah.
costs. It's a
Thank
big
you.
deal. Great job.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yep. So anyhow, for you all and Nathaniel just to make sure if you have any questions, just reach out and we'll be happy to get you the answers.
So,
Okay.
any further questions for Cheryl?
No, and I'll just close with your tonnage report, as of May, is on the back page. And we don't have June's, Toad and Mattson have till the 10th of the month to provide us their reports. So, the information we have, compiled is through.
Oh,
Yep.
All right, moving on, old business update on Port's intermodal expansion project. We kind of
Beat that one.
beat that one to death.
Hopefully that one's off the agenda going forward then.
We will drop that off.
Are we gonna drop that off?
I would
Next
drop
time?
it off until we got money.
That's right.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I would
till
not
money's
drop
in
it
the
off.
bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
it.
I'm
We'll
with
leave
you.
it until the money.
Seconded.
Yeah, I'm going, no,
No,
I want that
we
money.
need the
on-
greenbacks.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it in the bank account.
Good
Yeah.
call.
You're not alone in that thought process.
Oh, no, not after what we've been through.
Correspondence received by the commission, none has been received.
No,
New business. Hearing none, we'll move on to public comments. This is an opportunity for anyone who's online to make a public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to do so?
Kathleen, now's your chance.
Not saying a word.
Sometimes that's good. All right, hearing no further public comments, public comments is closed. And the port director's closing comments.
First and foremost, it's just, I want to just say congratulations to everybody at the port. We are in an unsafe scenario here. at the Port of Alaska with all the construction going on. And it changes every single day. And the fact that we just had two major precedents here at the Don Young Port of Alaska, didn't have any safety incidents, and to date haven't had any lost time incidents during this construction season. I just want to applaud Ronnie, Brian, Shane, the engineering department. It is a Herculean task to have this much going on and to not have incidents that are either causing EPA, Coast Guard, OSHA, or some federal agency to come in and watch us closely. So big kudos to you guys. I know we have issues with contractors leaking fuel and hydraulics and things like that, but those are well-known things that are going to happen on a big construction site like this. You guys have done a heck of a job. So I just want to thank everybody for that. The port is operating fully. Every terminal we have is open to the user groups. I want to make sure everybody understands that we are operating while we're doing this construction project. There is no downtime for the vessels and the barges that are coming in to use this port. We are open for business. That's my final comments. Thank you, commissioners.
Commissioner comments. Stephanie?
Good meeting. Lots going on. Nice to have some good news intermixed with that. And I appreciate staff and everybody who works at the port.
Nathaniel?
Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on. Once again, congratulations to the port team on this settlement. Congratulations on the credit rating. It seems like the port is positioned for a strong, positive trajectory moving forward. Appreciate all of your hard work in getting us there.
Thank you. Thanks.
And my comment is that this was an informative meeting. We're happy to hear about the settlement. That's very good news. That issue, when the check clears.
Right.
Is
Good
done.
qualifier.
Learned my lesson. Yeah, me too.
It's like,
We both got our hands slapped.
Cheryl and I are going,
So,
I'm leaving that on it.
Yeah, that's right.
okay, so, and again, thanks to you guys, do a hell of a job. You really do, and I'm proud of it. Next meeting date.
Boy, without the rest of the commission here, that's gonna be our set.
We could,
Sometimes that's the best thing is the three of you get to help set it though, instead
Oh,
of,
that's
right, everybody else has to play along.
so September, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like after,
July.
Yeah.
August.
let's do like, what's the first Wednesday?
First Wednesday will be the 9th.
September 9th.
Yeah, I could do that. There's
I
a
can't
small-
do that day.
Small chance I'll be at Denali Highway meeting. How about the following week?
16th.
16th?
Yeah.
16th with Nathaniel.
Yeah, 16th would be great for me.
Okay,
We're
let's-
all about your schedule, bud.
We are gonna work with your schedule.
The following week, 23rd also wide open, the 2nd wide open. Yeah, the 9th is just tough for me.
Okay, 16th. I will put it on the meeting calendar and we'll also include, just so you know, the minutes from today, from the meeting minutes from the 20th. And then I'll put today's meeting minutes on. For the next meeting. Yeah. And for any commissioners that missed the meeting, we should have the recording up on the website
Yeah.
by tomorrow.
It's 24 hours. Website too. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Well, I believe there's nothing further to come before this body, so hearing no objection, the meeting is adjourned.
Have a great day, Nathaniel. You too.
Have a great day.
See you, bye-bye.
Okay.
It's a big thing, a mess.